Hey guys, what's up? This is Mel, and I'm here to talk about the originals, episode 410, titled Phantomesque, which premiered Friday, June 2nd, 2017 on the CW. I'm recording on June 4th. So with that in mind, guys, huge spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the episode already, go do so first, then come back and see what I have to say about the episode. Otherwise, my other video reminders are up on screen right now, so remind yourselves of those. And let's begin with the 10-minute clock, and let's begin with what happened in this episode. So first off, this episode was directed by Daniel Gillies, aka Elijah. So it was a little interesting to see how he did the episode, as well as how he was represented as Elijah in the episode. So there is that. But moving on, timeline-wise, I'm thinking it's the next day from the events of 409, from the looks of it. So I'll leave it with that. But storyline-wise, though, I picked up 3 different storylines going on. First one was saving Elijah's shattered mind within the pendant. Second one was finding and burning the remaining thorn bushes that could kill an original. And the third one was contacting Davina. So the first main storyline is Freya recruiting Haley and Hope to help her search Elijah's mind. At first, Freya tries to do this alone, but she can't maintain the spell while searching Elijah's mind for the version of him that pretty much represents his core being. So instead, Haley goes in, and Freya uses Hope to help maintain the spell, since she's sending a little bit a hybrid into his head. And Haley finds Elijah behind the red door, or a memory of him behind the red door. So after all this, though, Haley is a bit shaken up after her encounter with Red Door Elijah, but Elijah does come out of it because of Haley and Hope. So I'll leave it at that. Second storyline deals with Klaus getting help from Rebecca and Cole as they try to find the remaining thorn bushes. I believe there's 8 of them, and their whole goal was to find them and burn them. While doing this, though, they're trying to race against Marcel, who's trying to find them, since he needs the thorns that are not only from his venom, but imbued with the Hollow's magic that he needs in order to reverse the state that Sophia is currently in after being possessed by the Hollow. Because apparently Sophia is slowly dying from the Hollow's influence that's still trapped inside her from the possession. So there's that. But eventually, Rebecca does give a bush over to Marcel after realizing that the Sophia person is the person Marcel is currently in love with. So there's that. Now, Cole kind of deviated from helping Klaus and Rebecca out when he learned that the ancestors were back, which leads to storyline number 3. So because of this, Cole tries to make a deal with the Harvest Girls by trading his dark objects for a possible chat with Davina. Harvest Girls refuse, since they don't like the Michelsons, yet they take the dark objects. But unfortunately, Cole finds himself with this unexpected reunion, which is the last scene of the episode, and it is the fact that the Hollow has linked herself to a newly resurrected Davina, and it's forcing Cole's loyalty to the Hollow in order to spare Davina's demise, from the looks of it. Tidbit-wise, though, we get at the beginning of the episode showing Cole and Rebecca becoming aware of Elijah's death when his sire line suddenly dies out while they're at like some vampire nightclub type thing. The death of his sire line confirms Elijah's death, yet it still brings up my question that I placed in a video I posted recently. The link for, well, you can find that on my page, but it still begs the question of, even though Elijah's sire line is dead, and proving his death, proving that the Hollow was able to use his death as the sacrifice, how is it possible that Elijah's soul is still alive in the pendant? That was the main concern for me. So since pretty much the similar thing that they had done with Elijah, they did with Klaus back in the Vampire Diaries, and yet no death of the sire line happened. So check out that video if you want to go more into detail as to why I had the question, or why I'm thinking it's a little contradicting on some levels, but there's that. Another tidbit for the episode is that the Hollow feels no pain from the looks of it. We had Marcel attacking her, feeding on her neck, and she played the part of someone who was in pain from the bite, but afterwards she was just like limp, going, "Oh, this is so boring, are you done yet?" type of thing, with the look on her face. And it seems that Marcel kind of retracted from his attack when the blood that he just consumed from her, it kind of leaves this burning, venomous feel to it. It seems like her blood was toxic to him in a sense. It kind of, his reaction kind of reminded me of if a vampire consumed blood that had vervain in it, kind of like that. Also, we see that Marcel realizing that he can't face the Hollow alone. Earlier in the episode, he was adamant on the fact that he doesn't need the Michaelsons' help, but now by the end of the episode, he's come to realize that he doesn't stand a chance against the Hollow himself, so he may have to recruit the Michaelsons to help him out in that sense. So there is that. Moving on, though, to what was the most shocking moment of the episode, I think the fact that the Hollow brought back Davina to enslave Cole. Clever, yes, but I wasn't expecting that. I guess it kind of shows the extent of the Hollow's power, that she's able to, it looked like she was able to resurrect Davina without any problems whatsoever, unlike if someone else were to do so. In a sense, they had to do a lot more steps involved, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see, because now with Davina back on the playing field, we already know where Cole's allegiances lie, but now because the Hollow's attached to her, it's a little bit tricky now, though. Also, the Hollow connected herself to Davina in just the same way that Sophie Devereaux from season 1 connected herself to Haley during the pregnancy, and ensuring the fact that the originals don't just kill Sophie and risk killing Haley while she was pregnant. So that brought a little deja vu moment there for me. But moving on, though, to top 3 favorite moments. A huge favorite of mine has to be the old and new memories we got from Elijah. When Freya goes into Elijah's head, as well as Haley later on, though, we get them witnessing a few moments of Elijah's past. Now, Freya got to witness the scene with Agnes in episode 106, and we got to revisit that too. So that was pretty cool. We also got to see Elijah's fight with the vampires, I believe, at 121, that Freya got to see again. So that was great as well. We also got to see a new scene, in a sense, that Freya got to witness, and it was the fact that Elijah, Klaus, Cole, and Rebecca were toasting after a non-violent family dinner they've had for the first time in a long time. So we got to see that new scene for them as well. And then we got to see Haley revisiting her reunion with Elijah back in 401 with a little bit of added lines to it to kind of show us what had happened and stuff like that. And then we also see the different setting of Elijah behind the red door that Haley got to see as well. So all those different things was really fantastic to see. Freya and Haley revisiting previous scenes that we've seen in the series, like in 106, 121, and 401. Those like that had me feeling like the Vampire Diaries episode 401, when Elena was revisiting her compelled memories again when she was in transition. So it was really interesting to see. It's always interesting to me to see characters seeing themselves, in a sense, or seeing another scene that we've seen but they weren't privy to at the time, but they get to revisit, in a sense, like what we got. I always like scenes like that, so it was very interesting to see how that happened and their reactions to it all, especially with Freya and seeing the vampire nature of Elijah during times when she wasn't there. Was very interesting to get her reactions to it before she clued in the fact that I need to find him, I need to pay attention type thing. So there's that. Second favorite thing, our favorite moment I liked about the episode was Rebecca's call to Cole. Sorry. It was great to see the two of them talking, and then her telling him that she wants to stay in town to see this thing through while Cole wants to leave town. This is before the Hollow appeared. And Rebecca's saying that she wished that Cole would stay, but she understands. It was great to see. I kind of wish that I got to see what Rebecca and Cole were like during their trip together away, just to see how much closer they grew together, or just how much more of a dynamic they picked up between each other. But it was great to see a little bit of that in the phone call they had with each other before all hell broke loose for Cole. So there's that. Another favorite of mine also has to be with Klaus's reaction is when Rebecca asked Marcel who this new love of his life is. When Marcel was telling Klaus that he needs a thorn bush to save someone he cares about, and then Rebecca clues into the fact that it's some girl, and she asks, like, who is she? Klaus's reaction to that, he looks to Marcel with these big wide eyes, like, oh crap, and then he looks to Rebecca, he's like, I don't, like, he knows that giving a name is going to hurt his sister, but that he wants to do it but then he doesn't want to because he doesn't want to cause her pain, and then he just rushes to stand behind Rebecca, kind of like in a silent stance of I'm on your side type of thing, before Marcel reveals that Sophia is the person he cares for and he wants to rescue. It was just Klaus's reaction to that. It's like, oh crap, I do not want to be in the middle of this, and yet I want to protect my sister, in a sense. So it was very interesting to see that type of reaction, because it's like Klaus got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. He knows who Marcel's referring to, and yet he's kept it from Rebecca, type of thing. But now that Rebecca knows, she wants the answer. It's like, oh, do I tell her, revealing that I've known, or do I let him do it and just kind of be there for it in a sense? So it was very interesting. I'll leave it at that, though. But it was definitely great to see the dynamic between Klaus and Rebecca again. They were always the two that I really like seeing, their unique sibling dynamic between them. So there is that. Moving on, though, to top 3 peeve moments, and there goes the timer, so I'll try to be quick about this. Another top peeve I have was the fact that the Hollow has linked herself with Davina. That's going to cause some huge problems. Unless they find out a way to unlink them, it's going to look like they're going to have to kill the Hollow, which will lead to killing Davina, which is also going to put Cole in a very... I don't think he's going to end very well with that for him. So it has me a little on edge in that regard to that. But there is that. Plus, it peeved me that I didn't see that coming, but it was also a good thing, too. So anyways, another peeve of mine was also the fact that Haley now seems shaken up by Elijah's past, or the past violence in him. The only way it's a peeve of mine is because why is this bothering her now? She's known the reputation behind Elijah before she even met him, and then the whole time this is something that should have been brought up in season 1 when she was just starting to get to know him. And yet for all of the past 3 seasons we never seen her have any bad reactions to his past or anything like that until now. So it's just like, unless it's like actually seeing it for herself and getting attacked by it that has her so shaken up, it's the fact that his reputation precedes him. Everyone knows about the violence with any of the Michelsons. It shouldn't be a shock to Haley now, though. So it a little irritated me, the fact that this is a reaction I would have expected from Haley very early on in her acquaintanceship of Elijah, or her friendship with Elijah, before they even got involved in anything. This is something she should have felt or had questions about very early on when getting to know Elijah back in season 1. Not now, when it's technically been, 8 years for her in knowing and being close to the Elijah. So it was just a little irritating in that regards. Plus, another peeve of mine was the fact that it had to be Haley that had to go into Elijah's mind. It didn't really make sense to me. It's like, yes, it's now caused a possible rift between them, but it made sense if it was either Rebecca or Klaus that went into Elijah's mind to try to find where he was, because they're the 2 most logical options to figure out, well, who's known Elijah the best over the last 1,000 years. Freya knows it's not her, because even though Elijah's her brother, she's only technically known him for about 1 year at most, 5 years in sleep together. So next it would have to be Klaus, Rebecca, and then Cole, and then maybe Haley. But instead they go straight to Haley because of the fact that she's the one he cares for and loves. So it just didn't make any sense. But yet they had Klaus and Rebecca off trying to find the thorn bushes. So that was just a little peeve of mine as well, though. I think it would have been interesting to see how Klaus and Rebecca would have reacted to seeing these old moments of Elijah, in a sense, or how they would have tried to break him out of his little shattered mindset, in a sense. Next thing, though, what moment will I remember most when I look back on this episode? I think of the fact that we went into Elijah's mind. The whole concept of it being a long corridor, and each door is a moment in his past, so like 1,000 doors for 1,000 years worth of memories. It's pretty interesting concept to go into, and then just to be revisiting all those old moments that we've seen in the past was just a great thing. Something I really liked, so there's that. But random questions very quickly, though. First one, will Cole let his family know that the Hollow has linked herself to Davina, or would it be in the moment of a confrontation that they will finally be clued in on that fact? Another question, though, has Haley's trip into Elijah's mind caused a rift between them? I mentioned that before, just a few moments ago. I think it has. It's an unnecessary obstacle for them, though, considering they've already spent 5 years apart. So I think we're definitely going to see a little bit more rift, or her questioning her relationship with him a bit more. Another question is, was it Haley or Hope that broke through to Elijah in his shattered mind? I personally think that it was Hope, and her magic burst that she wanted to get to Haley, and then that's what kind of clicked Elijah out of it. But it definitely wasn't Haley, for sure. He continuously attacked her, and then it wasn't until Hope's magic that he kind of clued into himself. So there's that. What did you guys think about that, though? I'm pretty sure it was Hope, but some may say it's Haley, but there's that. Last question. Is the Papatunde knife now out of commission since the Hollow has been resurrected? Since Papatunde's knife was originally one of the bone fragments belonging to the Hollow, and now that she is alive, again, does that mean the knife does not exist anymore? Since it's technically in her. So there's that question there. But moving on to predictions very quickly, I'll make this very quick. But based off the promo for 411, it looks like Davina tells Cole that the Hollow needs to be killed. It also looks like Freya tells Haley that the Hollow needs to be stabbed with an element of surprise, although Haley gets blindsided, and for a quick moment it looked like Jackson was in the fight of it. So there's that. Based off the synopsis, though, for 411, it reads, when it's discovered that the Hollow is using a magical totem to fuel her power, Freya enlists Rebecca and Klaus's help to locate and destroy it. Elsewhere, an ultimatum by the Hollow puts Cole at odds with his own siblings, while an unexpected run-in forces Marcel and Rebecca to confront the growing tension between them. Finally, the Hollow's plan for Haley leaves her in the fight of her life. So after all that, do I have any questions? Probably. One moment. Whoops, sorry. I had a little cough there. Any questions after that, though? In regards to the magical totem, is that Davina or is it something else that the Hollow is channeling her power to from this? That's what magical totem means for me. It's like something that you need to in order to channel your power through something. So I'm wondering if that is Davina. If it is Davina, that's definitely going to put Cole against his siblings if Klaus and Rebecca are tasked to destroy the totem. But the totem, I really don't know. The totem could be, I don't know what it could be, though, if it's not Davina. It'll be interesting, though, to see about that, though. And another question that came up is the Hollow going to put Jackson against Haley? I believe I saw him for a flicker of a moment in the promo, but you know how when the Hollow was infecting Klaus and Marcel, and they were seeing hallucinated versions of either Michael or Klaus and Elijah, depending on who you were seeing as the infected. I'm wondering if Haley's going to experience something like that, if she's going to get infected by the Hollow's influence in some way, and she's going to be seeing Jackson attacking her or being confused on that aspect. So I guess we'll have to see about that, though. But otherwise, other than that, what did you guys think of the episode? What did you guys like about it? What do you think is going to happen next? Let me know in the comments down below. Love to hear your own thoughts, theories, and predictions about what you think is going to happen next. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want, check out my Tumblr page. The link for that is down below. I read blog promos, web clips, quotes, gifs, synopses, news, all that good stuff, all found in one place, so go check that out. Also, it's connected to my WordPress account. The link for that is down below as well. It's more organized over there, but it's a work in progress still. So go check that out if you want. And if you want a detailed recap of the episode, a play-by-play with, if you will, check out my Livejournal entry. The link for that is down below as well. It is a recap of the episode as I watch it for the first time in jot-noted format, with my in-moment thoughts and questions and all that pops up while I'm typing it out while I watch the episode for the first time. It helps me keep things in order, and it helps refresh my memory later on if I want to know what happened in a certain episode. But I hope if you check that out, it helps you out. But check it out if you want. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your patience. I hope you come back next week to hear what I have to say about the next episode. We're almost done with the season. So it'll be interesting to see how they end this story arc with. But with that all said, again, thanks so much. This is Mel. Wish you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.